Okay, so hello everyone. In this video, we'll discuss about something more about the three tribes, namely Angles, Jutes, and Saxons, and how English was made. So, the first point says amongst the three tribes, Angles was the most brutal. The other word you can add for brutal was dominant or more powerful. The Angles was the most brutal and the most powerful tribes amongst Jutes and Saxons. Apart from Jutes and Saxons, Angles was the very dominant tribe. So next comes the less brutal, the something 10% less brutal than Angles were the Saxons, and the least brutal were the Jutes. So the name England. The next point says that the name England is known as Engelsland because, as we know, that Engels came to Britain and they changed all the rules and regulations. So the name England is known as Engelsland. This is why it is known as Engelsland. Then the next point says that the native people of England use the language known as Celtic. Native is someone who has been living in the same place for many years. They have been inhabiting the place for many years. So Celtic is was the main language of those native people. So these native people spoke Celtic, which is written as Celtic, but it is spoken as Keltic. This is why I'm pronouncing the word as Celtic, because it starts from Keltic. Then the next point says that these three major tribes, namely Angles, Jutes, and Saxons, these three major tribes, what was their main language? Their main language was Germanic tribes. These were called the Germanic tribes, and they spoke Old Germanic language. They had their main language which is known as Old Germanic language. The next point says that whereas Romans brought Latin language with themselves. So that means Romans also came to England, or you can say Britain, and they brought language with themselves which is known as Latin. Then after this, the next point says that so officially three languages were spoken, three groups of three different languages lived. So these three people, like the Romans, the and the other three tribes, they had these their own different languages for everyone. So this means the three languages are Celtic, Old Germanic, and Latin. So Celtic is what? Celtic is the language of native people. So this was the first group, and then there is Old Germanic. Old Germanic is the language of, yes, it is the language of these three tribes: Angles, Jutes, and Saxons. And Latin is the language of the people of the Romans who came to England for some purpose. So these three languages became a part of one single country. Uh, this is why if you mix all these three languages, you will get the language we are speaking today, that is English. So the last point says that the English language is formed at the time of Old English time. When English had a very old time, it was a very, when English was going on in its early phase. This is when the English language was formed, which is a mix of all the three dialects. That is, if you mix Celtic, Old Germanic, and Latin, you will get English. Along with this, when French people also came to England, they brought French language with them. This is a very common theme that whenever any person comes to any new place, they bring their works and they bring their language to the other place so that other can learn from their language too. And when that other person who has come to the other place, when they begin to write some work in their own language, so the people who will learn their language, then it will be easier for them to understand what the work says. So when French people came to England, they also brought their own French language, which is French. So people of France, when they came to like England, so they brought French language with them. So now, if we mix all these four languages, which is Celtic, Old Germanic, Latin, and French, then we will get a language which is known as English. Then we will get English. So I hope you must have understand how English came to existence. Whatever English we are speaking today, it is the contribution of all these four languages. And plus earlier it was just three languages, but then people of France came and they added French. So now four languages led up to the making to the introduction of English, what we are speaking now. And I hope you must have also understood how the about the three tribes, how dominant were they, who was the most dominant and who was the least dominant, how England came into existence, how the word England came into existence, how the word Britain was changed into England, and why. I hope you must have understood everything. So now in the next video we will discuss about the religion and the Christianity of all these three tribes, namely Angles, Jutes, and Saxons.